The journey is the reward. There is a time for many words, and there is also a time for sleep. Even a fool may be wise after the event. Let the wine cup add a layer to friendship. It is not good to have a rule of many. Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. For the dead, let the past be past. Of all creatures that breathe and move upon the earth, nothing is bred that is weaker than man. A good wife is the crown of her husband. The blade itself incites to deeds of violence. Words are the physicians of a mind diseased. Do not put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Even a fool knows you can't touch the stars, but it doesn't stop a wise man from trying. A guest never forgets the host who had treated him kindly. Ignorance the root and stem of all evil. The sweetest and most welcome gift of life is friendship. A thing begun is half done. The journey is the thing. The wise man knows everything, the shrewd one, everybody. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Time takes away the grief of men. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. It is a wise child that knows its own father. The bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet notwithstanding, go out to meet it. Without a sign, his sword the brave man draws, and asks no omen but his country's cause. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. Foolishness is indeed the sister of wickedness. Hateful to me as the gates of Hades is that man who hides one thing in his heart and speaks another. The world is full of obvious things, which nobody by any chance ever observes. The gods plant reason in mankind, of all good gifts the highest. There is nothing nobler or more admirable than when to people who see eye to eye keep house as man and wife, confounding their enemies, and delighting their friends. The only stable state is the one in which all men are equal before the law. All things are subject to decay, and when fate summons, monarchs must obey. There is a strength in the union even of very sorry men. Let the fear of a danger be a spur to prevent it. He that fears not gives advantage to the danger. It is always the brave who are fortunate. A people that values its privileges above its principles soon loses both. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something. The power of love is that it sees all without needing to look. Death and the sun are not to be looked at steadily. The reward of suffering is experience. Let us not speak of them, but look and pass on. A day can bring to things hope or despair. Which one it brings is up to you. He who stops being better stops being good. A true friend is a precious gift of God. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. A true hero isn't measured by the size of his strength, but by the strength of his heart. He who forgets his own ancestry is like a river without a source. To the ashes of the dead, glory comes too late. The greatest griefs are those we cause ourselves. Words empty as the wind are best left unsaid. To be slow to anger is a sign of wisdom. The world turns aside to let any man pass. Who knows where he is going? He who would rule must first learn to serve. A good name is better than great riches. The tongue is the strongest muscle in the human body. Use it wisely. One cannot step twice into the same river. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. There is no greater glory than to die in battle. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The sweetest joy, the wildest woe is love. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. The greatest gift you can give someone is your time, your attention, your love, and your concern. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000. It is not good to heaven or in every man's boat. The future is uncertain, but the end is always near. A man's character is his fate. A mother is worth 100 schoolmasters. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. It is not beauty that endears, it's love that makes us see beauty. He who is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who is quick-tempered exalts folly. The hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which to burn. In youth and beauty, wisdom is but rare. He who would climb the ladder must begin at the bottom. Wit is the salt of conversation, not the food. Without friends no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. Fame is the perfume of heroic deeds. A soft answer turns away wrath. Time flies over us, but leaves its shadow behind. The light which shines in the eye is really the light of the heart. The sweetest honey is loathsome in its own deliciousness. He who sows the wind reaps the whirlwind. The beginning is the most important part of the work. He who has a stout heart and a firm courage can endure all hardships. It is not enough to fight for the land. It is even more important to enjoy it. Life is like a wheel, and it will always come full circle. The soul would have no rainbow if the eyes had no tears. The greatest virtue of man is perhaps curiosity. It is the mind that maketh good or ill, that maketh wretch or happy, rich or poor. A man who has nothing to die for has nothing to live for. Time and tide wait for no man. A man's home is his castle. The greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. The beautiful is always strange. If you want to be respected, you must respect yourself. The gods are deaf to cries of a man who is starving. In the eyes of a child there is joy, there is laughter, there is hope, there is trust, a chance to shape the future.